Už víte, proč tam je ta skříň? Já dělám tohle. Zdravíčko, dámy a pánové, já vás vítám již u 6. partu z Call of Cthulhu. Točím to hned po předchozím partu, jelikož se mi tady neukázal loading, nebo jako uložení. A do píči tomu týpkovi, no. Já si myslím, že on mohl žít ještě dál. Seš píča. Co se děje? Říkej mi, že jsi teďka otrávený navždy.
Damn! The gas!
Asi jsem si neměl hrát s tím, no.
My head.
Later. We need to move on.
Sídlo Hawkinsových. Pierce se probudil v ústavu pro choromyslné. Zřízené ve sklepeních institutu Riverside. Potkal doktorku Coldenovou, přítelkyni Bradleyho, která mu pomohla utéci. Zatímco Pierce bloudil chodbami místa, kde suverénně vládne doktor Filler, měl příležitost promluvit si s muži jménem Francis Sanders, předtím než zemřel. Detektivovi přímo před očima. Obvinil jako příčinu svého utrpení Saru Hawkinsovou. Pierce do provodu Bradleyho a Coldenové konečně tu prokletou budovu opustil. Druhové v neštěstí se rozhodli využít sídlo Hawkinsových coby úkrytu.
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Je on jeden. Kamarád, jak ta hra vypadá hezky. Tyhle ty nejlepší, ty utečeš z tohohle baráku s tím, že dole pod tím barákem je prostě příšera a ty do toho baráku vlezeš znova. Tohle jsou fakt kokoti, jako. Sorry, ale jako, který by to udělal.
How do you feel?
Jak se cítíš?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
Je tu whisky. Pamatujete, co jsem říkal za začátku? Když si dáte, ovlivní to hru. Já jsem nepiják, nepiju. Budeme v tom pokračovat dále ve hře. Takže mám otázky. Jak to, že si naživu?
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Aha.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
It seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion, You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital, and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Kámo.
I heard you talking earlier.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
I found a Darkwater PD badge. Lost a colleague recently?
What the?
Bradley.
Ethan?
I'm all right. I just had a... It's gone.
You're sure?
If it's important, it'll come back. But I can't explain why Dr. Fuller would have that badge.
The man's a danger, believe me.
What can we do, Pierce?
Co můžeme dělat?
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
Strážníku Ethan? On se jmenuje snad jinak, ne?
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Postupovat rozvážně, anebo čelit pravdě? Jak řekl rozvážně, protože když řekneme pravdu, tak ono by zase mohlo něco vyjít. A ona by mohla... Já to vím, jak bych to udělal já asi.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Hra uložená.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Tudy odejdu, jo? A cože když odejdu, tak bude zase noc. Koukám, že už tady popíjeli. Asi nic nebě nenajdeme. A očekávám, že ani... Nemůžeme se dostat nikam jinam. To jako nevím, jestli on si to zatím jenom vybavuje, nebo... to dělají ty prášky. Kapitola 6. Rezidence Sandersových. Pierce, Coldenová a Bradley se rozhodli spojit, aby vyřešili případ Sary Hawkinsové. Mají novou stopu. Její Francis Sanders, sběratel umění a přítel malířky, který zemřel přímo před Pierceovýma očima. Detektiv odchází do jeho domu promluvit si jeho vdovu o OHýbači, o němž se ten nešťastník před svou smrtí zmínil. Kam ohýbač? To bude určitě stejně nějaký pornoherec. A vypadá to už podle toho obrázku, že to sídlo bude hodně velký.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other?
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
He started raving, screaming that a dimensional shambler had found him.
Oh, mercy, that story again. Why have him interned?
That was when he began to convulse and twist with pain. Or terror, it's hard to tell.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not really sure of what I saw, or what I didn't see. But it's best that you weren't there.
I should have been there. What you're telling me is outrageous. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes. Did you not do anything to help him?
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me, his own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long. The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Asi jsem sebe hodně blízký. Místo rekonstrukce, jak se ukáže.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
No, určitě byli asi přátelé, víc než obchodní.
A house of artists. A house of artists.
To všechno, co mi tohle řekne.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
No, asi, že... To něco asi dělalo.
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
No, určitě žádlela.
She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel?
Odmítla prodat obraz a pak... Ona mě prodala?
The Shambler. I need to see it.
Já to hram zase dávám medicínu. Už je zase tma. Co jiného oči. Ale ne. Trošku se to... Asi neporozlídneme.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
To si můžu nějak... To? Aha, já nemám ten fonograf, to musím někde asi získat. Všechno je zavřený.
An old diary. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Ona dokonce věnovala. Žádám vás, abyste se vzdal veškerých nadějí, že někdy budete vlastnit ten prokletý obraz. Jestli pro vás naše přátelství něco znamená, ušetřete mne, prosím, tíhy pocitu viny. Nemohu být strůjcem vašeho konce. Žádám vás, můj drahý příteli, zapomeňte na ohýbače. Tady někdo vyžadoval hodně silný.
I could use one of those.
Můžu používat nebo ne?
A strange Amerindian pendant.
Na sebe něco chránil. Damn son. Máme určitě nějaký ty, máme 5 bodů. Šup sem s tím. Psychologie asi. Tyhle bychom za chvilku měli pomalu všechno plný z těch hlavních. Přečtěte si tuto knihu. Jakási encyklopedie obludných a neznámých příšer. Tohle ovlivní váš osud. Kámo, já jsem to asi fakt neměl číst. Ale dalo mi to okultismus.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking?
I'm not here to cause
Worry me. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give, but as long as you keep out of my way, you're
And you? What
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant.
No, to si nemyslím. Tak se ukáž.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Před Kolumbem, jo. Víte mi, my se tady můžeme schovat. To není dobrý. Tamhle je ohýbač, kámo. Už ho vidím. Už ho vidím.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Třeba se chtěl zabít někdy. A nakonec to zabilo jeho.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Proč ne? Co by si dělal s takovým velkým barákem? Abych ho prodal, koupil si malý. O, něco tu máme. Další olejnička. O, jdeme se na to kouknout zblízka.
What the hell was that?
Už víte, proč tam je ta skříň? A já dělám tohle. Kamo, venku je kaščeka, pojď do píči. Ne, prosím, píče. Kamo, já už to nechci hrát. Další díl už nevyjde, já končím sérii, jasný? Ohýbač obraz. Můžu si hodit prášky na spaní a usnout tady? 2 body, kámo.
What the hell was that?
Neboj se do světla? To je asi něco, co bych udělal já v reálném životě, prý nebojí se do světla?
What the hell was that?
Nevím. Rozhodně mě to vidělo. Já jsem mu tu pracku mohl vyrvat, tam byl stisknu Ečko.
What the hell was that?
Kamo. Že já musím. Jestli otevřeš tu skříň, tak já se na to vyjebu.
Maybe I can use this dagger.
No pojď. My tady můžeme používat milý zbraně, ale neumíme je použít? Halo?
What the hell was that? Maybe I can use this dagger.
Teď jak se to používá, ta zbraň? Kam on se tam bugnul? No pojď.
What the hell was that? Maybe I can use this dagger. This dagger looks different.
What's the matter with you? You sure you won't be needing that hat? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right.
You didn't see it.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss?
Sanders was right. This painting is cursed.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about... And by the way, where do you...
It saved my life.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all from what I saw in the ledgers. It was him who sold it to Sanders.
This symbol on the dagger, it was all over Sanders' cell. It's what protected me. If Hawkins was trying to get rid of this shambler, she might have made contact with... This antique dealer has a good knowledge of the occult. I haven't...
You've got your spunk back. Go where you want. I'm staying here to talk business with...
Where is the bookseller? An old diary.